Good evening. Welcome to the Fastest Losers once again. Let us know how we sound. I forgot to do a sound check before going on, so the levels might be all over the place. So if there's anyone in the chat, please shout out. As always, I'm Alex Walker, joined by Chris.
Hello.
And we've brought back Nordic specialist Dr. Dan O'Connor.
I've never been described like that before. Thank you. Good evening.
Yeah, your doctorate's not in Nordic skiing, is it?
No, that would I wish it was. It was history of medicine. A far less useful boon to such podcasts, I'm afraid.
But yes, welcome. So it's day 4 of the Olympics now. I think if I'm correct, I think we've had 27 sets of medals so far.
Wow.
So I think
Already.
it's worth going through a few of them and reflecting on some of the excitement, because there's a fair bit to talk about.
Yes, just a bit. It's been a manic few days, but it's all been good. I've enjoyed watching it all. Just had it on all day. Lovely time zone, isn't it? You put it on, you get up, 9 o'clock. There it is. It's on. It's on till like half 10.
It's very civilized. It's very civilized.
Yeah, it's nice not to have to completely change my body clock as I've had to for the last 2 Winter Olympics.
But it's too civilized that I'm like, I don't do anything else. Like I'm literally like, if I need to get up and go for a run, I need to go before 9 o'clock. I'll be back for 9 o'clock, and then at bedtime you're like, well, it's done now. I'm just gonna go to bed.
I mean, that's why I took these weeks off work, because I was like, this is my job for the next 2 weeks. But before we get onto the sport, did either of you watch the opening ceremony? Did any of you have thoughts on it?
I mean, you know my thoughts on opening ceremonies in general. I think they're a bit of a waste of time. They go on for too long. Just get the athletes out, light a flame. Thank you very much. Don't need it. None of that dancing nonsense.
Yeah, it's I thought it was technically very well done, having it in 18 different locations, and they had the teleport rooms from Stargate as well, which was nice. Yeah, it was what was better than the summer ones was everyone had their fabulous like winter coats on, all the teams.
Yeah.
There's some like really cool. There's some very cool kit.
And I thought it was really nice that actually with the 4 locations, you actually got to get a good view of the athletes, and apart from in the San Siro, they were all very close to the crowd. So it was a lovely atmosphere, particularly in Cortina, where they're wandering down this picturesque mountain village street.
In Cortina, they seem to be doing it outside like an Italian taverna.
Yeah,
just like where people were having their dinner. It was great.
I mean, as far as the actual performances went, I wasn't a fan of Mariah Carey, but I did enjoy Andrea Bocelli. I think that was the highlight of the ceremony. But seeing as neither of you have much enthusiasm for that,
I mean, we got the flame lighters pretty much right, didn't we? Kind of.
Alberto Tomba was mentioned. Enrico Fabrice.
We definitely said Alberto Tomba. I suspect none of us actually could name now the other Italian person who also had 3 gold medals from the Olympics who co-lit it with him.
No, I'm famously a sexist. So.
Oh, she was there.
No,
she lives in Cortina. Oh yeah, oh yes, yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
But my pick was the penultimate torchbearer, so I think I'm taking half credit for that.
You can have half a point.
Yes, half a point. Yeah, they do like to have, like you say, a modern an active athlete lighting the flames. So they went with Goggia, which was, I thought given she was like competing 2 days later, I thought maybe she wouldn't, but I guess she's the big enough name and she was in Cortina, so it makes sense.
And I was right that none of the biathletes came down for any of the opening ceremonies, because once you're up at altitude, you don't want to come down and then go back up. It's not really.
Yeah.
So I can have half a point too. So we've got half a point for those things. So 1 full point to us. Well done.
Well done.
But on to the actual sport. We'll go alphabetically again. Alpine skiing. We were concerned that Lindsey Vonn would upstage Breezy Johnson in some way, even by.
And she did.
And she did, not in the way we were expecting.
I know, it was. Oh, it's so funny because I said, didn't I? That I think I could see a world where Breezy Johnson wins and Lindsey Vonn is still going to be talked about more than her, and that's pretty much what happened. Albeit like not for getting a medal, but yeah, it was weird because obviously I watched both of Lindsay's training runs, and first one she was a little bit tentative, and then the second one she kind of did all right. She was 3rd quickest in a time that I think would have been around 15th in the final. So I mean, she would have gone a little bit quicker maybe if she'd got around that. It was that first jump I could tell from watching everybody else beforehand who were like struggling with it. I was like, well, if she's going to come a cropper at any point, it will be here, and she did.
Yeah,
But it's also, I mean, it's not clear to me that the fall was anything to do with her ACL.
No,
It
she
was
said
just a
no.
fall.
Everybody said she got her she caught the gate and then that spun around in the air and she ended up landing. So it wasn't the actual injury was nothing to do with the fall. So
I mean, it won't have helped, but
no. No, exactly. It's a shame because obviously there was so much hype around it, especially the fact that she had good training runs as well. You kind of felt like there was a medal potentially there, but it still would have been a lot of stars would have had to have aligned for her to get that medal. But I mean, we said, Breezy Johnson is definitely one for the occasion. She's not really won many. I don't think she's even won a World Cup downhill ever.
Wow.
But she turns up to the championships and delivers. So yeah, fair play to her for getting the gold. And then Emma Eike. I did say one of the Germans would be on the podium. I chose the other one, but never mind. Emma Eike got the silver, and then Goggia, the flame bearer. It was nice to see her on the podium. I thought one of the Italians would get on there, and she was probably the best bet. So I was very happy with that podium, actually. It was very good.
And then on the men's side, Franjo von Ullmann is already a two-time gold medalist from these games.
Yeah, I did say of the two because obviously Odermatt is the main guy in ski racing, but I said von Ullmann is better at this course in Bormio, and he did win the gold, and Odermatt didn't even get a medal. But this is my perfect podium because we had von Ullmann winning the gold, the world champion, favourite anyway, kind of, and then Franzoni, the young Italian, who was obviously, I didn't mention this on the preview, I had it in my notes, but I forgot to say that he's the one who's kind of racing for his friend who was killed in a training crash in Chile back in September. So this whole season he's been like talking about him, he's like channeling his memory, and he's had an incredible breakthrough season this year. It was great to see him get the silver. And then I said Dominic Paris, he's never won an Olympic medal. It was like, this was his time, at home on a Cortina as well, and 36 years old, and he got the bronze. So that was all the feels.
So he was the more advanced advanced in years podium finish that we were perhaps wanting from Lindsey Vonn. We got that with him instead.
Yeah, exactly. And then to be fair, in the men's team event, we had another similar thing. Vincent Kriechmeier, the Austrian, he's never won an Olympic medal either. He's been around a while. He was in the team event, and they got that shared silver with the Swiss team of Odermatt and Maillard. So Odermatt's got a medal at least, and a silver one at that. And then obviously, as you mentioned, von Ullmann has got the double already. He's already got 2 golds. So obviously, he's very good at the downhill. So that's kind of him. Whether Super G's probably his other chance to get a medal, but you feel like Odermatt is the favourite for that one. So, and then we'll see with the slalom. This didn't really tell us a whole lot about the slalom, I guess. Whereas in the women's, it did today. We learned that Michaela Schifrin maybe won't be the favourite for the slalom because Breezy Johnson did her work, led after the downhill, and then it went to the slalom, and she kind of didn't have a great run and ended up going from 1st to 4th. So Michaela Schifrin's still yet to have a medal since 2018 because obviously she didn't win any last time out in Beijing, and we were expecting her to get this one, being the world champion with Breezy Johnson. And then, they went from 1st to 4th. But the Austrians one, which is a bit of a surprise, really, Radler and Huber, not the fancied pairing, they're just a solid pair. They're not like either of them are going to be favourite in either of their individual events, but that's not, that's what counts in a team, isn't it? It's who's the best of the both. And then the Germans got the silver, which was interesting because Emma Eike, who got the silver in the downhill, then did the slalom because she's probably one of the few remaining true combined skiers, which is why, to be honest, she could have done this individually, which I kind of wish they'd do because we've got rid of the individual and now we've got this team event, which is just giving similar people medals. But I'm like, there should be an option for if you just want to be on your own in the country, say if you can't find someone, do it on your own.
And you two both watch.
If you're Dave riding. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Literally. Exactly. Shemi Alcock could have done it on her own back in the day.
And you two are far bigger fans of Alpine than I am. What do you think of this team combined versus the individual one?
Well, we said on the preview that the individual always favoured the slalom guys, which was its issue. And now with the being more of a spread, you don't get complete combined, like you don't get skiers anymore who do everything. It's very rare now. I mean, Eike probably is the last of that generation. She's in only early 20s, and to be honest, the generations coming up are not going to be focusing on the combined anymore. They're going to be doing either slalom or downhill.
Yeah, you're going to get real specialists. I think it's very interesting. It was much more likely in this one for it to be lost on the slalom rather than won, both the men's and the women's, because you had properly good slalom skiers stepping up and some properly good slalom skiers just not having a good race. The men's course was really cut up. by the end. It was a very, very difficult course to do. So I think it's definitely a different proposition to the individual event. And I think given what we said about the combined when it was an individual one, but just didn't really, for me, it never really works the competition because you were just waiting for the slalom skiers to come in.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, I'm happy for them to bring individuals in as well. If somebody wants to do two, let them do it.
I'd say my one disappointment is that we don't have that sort of decathlon, sort of
or who's the best all-rounder.
Yeah, exactly. That we've kind of lost that a bit.
Well, you'd have to then have alpine, Nordic, ski, luge. You'd have to do one of everything.
Get everything in there.
It sounds like we've got a new event on our hands.
It sounds like the sort of thing the IOC would kill people to stop from happening.
Yeah, definitely.
But if you made it a mixed gender team event, they'd be all over it.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Oh, well, no, World Athletics would put it on if it was a mixed gender team event.
Well, because obviously we have lost the mixed event in the Alpine this year, but I wonder if that is just because we've got the two different venues and whether, if they're together again, whether we'd have that back, because I think we do miss that. I miss that. It was quite a fun event.
I think that must be because of the separation, which I'm also finding very odd. You watch the women's downhill and then you watch the men's downhill, and you kind of don't compute that they're not on the same
place. Yeah.
I mean, I'd say the women's one is definitely more scenic with the Dolomites and skiing through.
For sure.
That bit when they go through the little gap.
Yeah,
it's just like, oh, so nice.
But moving on, biathlon, I've not really kept up with this too much, to my shame. But Dan, this is your one of your obsessions.
It's my primary obsession. To your great shame, there hasn't actually been that much. We've only had two races so far. We had the mixed relay on Sunday, which was fantastic, and that was won as expected by the French team. But Italy got the silver medal, which was fantastic, but also means that in some ways the pressure is now off from Dorothea Vera and Lisa Bertozzi, the big names who people have been looking at. We had today also the men's individual, which is the longest of the biathlon events. This is like purist biathlon. So in most of the events, when you miss a shot when it comes to the shooting, you have to do a penalty loop. But in the individual race, what's called the individual race, they just add a minute on to your score. So it really is all about the balance is in favor of good shots rather than the faster skiers in this one. And the result today, it was much as I predicted, actually, rather nicely. Johan Olaf Botten of Norway was first, Eric Perrault of France was second, and Ligrid of Norway, who I didn't mention, but general Norwegian, was third. When we talked in the preview, Botten was the Norwegian guy who sadly found his friend and teammate dead in the hotel room. This is something of a bit of a theme, actually, Chris. Just what you were saying with the Italian guy who's called dead, but he was very emotional at the end of the race today. So it's just an extraordinary thing to have been able to come back from that sort of tragedy only a month or so ago, and to be able to win the gold medal. The facility is working perfectly, and it is much like you were saying about the Dolomites and the women's, where the women's alpine is. It's absolutely gorgeous to watch. And the stadium, despite the fact that it's about 2.5 hours away from civilization, is completely full. They've got about 20,000 people there, and there are people all over the course. So it's it's doing really nicely.
Are you going to mention the bronze medalist? Have you seen what he said in the last few hours?
I didn't want to mention it because I don't want to give him. I don't think he should be. It's gross. So this is Ligrid, who is a bit of a character in the Norwegian team. He was world champion last year. He's the winner of the overall World Cup last year and has been second twice in a row before that. He was being interviewed by Norwegian TV or some congratulations on your bronze medal, and he suddenly bursts into tears and says, I have to confess that 3 months ago I slept with another woman and betrayed my girlfriend, who's the love of my life. I only met her 6 months ago, and then 3 months I realized what I've got. And the interviewer is like, okay, great. It is such a fucking weird thing. It's so odd.
I've seen it's literally all over the socials now. It's become the thing of the day. I think that everyone's talking about him because he's even said something like, "I didn't win a gold medal, but I had one anyway with this woman." It's like,
Yeah,
what are you saying?
it's just it's like, do not air your girlfriend's dirty laundry in public. That's really gross. And B,
Yeah.
also, your teammate who's and your other teammate who died has won. Do not distract attention from this. It's really he's a bit of he's an oddball. Actually, is Lagerud. So I suspect he may struggle now to get another race out of the Norwegian teams. I think they're going to be quite pissed off with him.
Yeah, fair.
That is, I've missed that, and that is baffling. I'm really struggling to get my head around that.
Apparently, it was his attempt to win her back or something. He was like, if I didn't say anything, I'd regret it. And it's like, mate, no.
Not as much as we regret you having said it.
Literally, on socials, I think the first comment I saw was just a series of red flags that someone posted.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping for less drama in the cross-country skiing. That's the next alphabetically, as we've had no bobsleigh yet. I've watched some of this.
Klæbo, I'm obsessed now with his little hill sprints.
Exactly.
He's phenomenal. They call that the Klæbo Plop, as he just sprint. He's phenomenal. He's as I said in the preview, he's just the best to ever do this. And everyone else is really racing for silver. And then the sprint today was just phenomenal. That final hill, he's something else.
It's in the sprint there's not much space to gain ground. It's only a 3-4 minute race, and the fact that I know that he slowed down right in the finish to take it all in, but he had a good, I'd say 50-100 meter lead on them.
Oh, for sure, yeah. He Ben Ogden, the American, who technically finished within a second of him. It could have been like a 10-15 second gap if Klæbo had like sprinted into and actually raced.
He was too busy waving and
and just he does that a lot. A lot of his races he only just wins because he's basically slowed down and stopped completely.
But good to see the son of Hilda Ogden winning a medal. Coronation Street's finest.
He does actually, with his sort of hipster mustache and haircut, look like he might have been a character in Coronation Street in the late 70s.
Amazing.
Other than that, the women's sprint went exactly as I suggested. It was I was about to say a Swedish three-way, but that just sounds like something that the Norwegian biathlete would want to be involved in. It was great. What was most surprising about that was there was no challenge really from the Norwegian women, and Skistat, the rather brilliantly named Norwegian sprint skier, just faded away to nothing. She's the only person who ever really takes it to the Swedes. But that was lovely, and I don't know if you've seen footage of the medal ceremony. And there's loads of Swedes in the audience, and you just hear a very rare full scale like a cappella rendition of the Swedish national anthem. It's really cool. Yes, it's definitely that. They're definitely singing like that. But yeah, there was a bit where the three of them, the three women who won, stood up on the thing, and it was like, oh, you do all look Swedish. It was like that. Yeah, you are. Yeah, those were Swedish people. There was no question about who had won that. And I also got the prediction on the women's skiathlon, right? Frida Karlsson, who I tipped for the 50k, but she was amazing. So what we haven't seen actually, well, we've seen a load of Klæbo. He's definitely dominating. The person I tipped broadly across the women's was Jessie Diggins of the US. She had a bit of a fall in the skiathlon, and she didn't even come out, I think, at the quarterfinals in the sprint. So she's got some chance for redemption with the 10k interval early next week, but she's not really had the start that she would have wanted, or that NBC would have liked her to have.
Yes.
It's obviously it's really difficult to know because they've been sort of banned from pretty much all sport, but do you think that we would have seen a bit more competition if there were Russians here in the cross country?
Fuck them. That's what I say. Fuck the Russians on that. But yes, absolutely. They were the only ones who ever really pushed the Norwegians, particularly on the men's side. Last time it was Bolshanov, who actually beat Klæbo in a couple of races at the Olympics in Beijing. And it's also true in the biathlon as well. They were very, very competitive in the biathlon, but I don't miss them.
No.
And if the price of not having the Russians in the Nordic sports is the Norwegians kind of dominate, it's fine. I mean, actually, outside of the men's cross country, they don't dominate. The French are just as strong as the Norwegians in biathlon. The Swedish women are stronger than the Norwegian women. So I think it really is only there in the men's cross country that it's actually really exposed the lack of depth everywhere else.
But it led to some good British results, right, on the men's side?
Oh yeah, we got a 10th for Andy Musgrave, which I did say if he gets in the top 10, it would be fantastic.
Yeah.
It was a really, really good ski. And Joe, now I've forgotten his name, Smith, possibly.
Joe Davis.
Thank you. Yeah,
Canadian-born Brit.
Canadian. Well, you know, we'll take him. He was 16th. It was amazing. He actually finished ahead of some really big names, including Ivo Niskanen, who I still tipped for the 50K. Yeah, it was a great race for both of them.
Yeah, I was really cheering for him during that race. Every time it cut to him, I was like, "Come on, get to the next pack."
Yeah. So, well, let's enjoy that moment of British success before we get on to them.
Yeah, because
what they managed to do is not finish fourth. Which I thought was quite impressive.
That's a win for us these days.
Yeah.
So this is the third of 3 British fourth places. We'll discuss the other ones as we get onto the freestyle events. But I think this one stings the most in the curling, with the Brits having pretty much dominated the round robin stage. They have beaten all of the teams who finished above them in this tournament. They only lost to Switzerland, but sadly they seem to just sort of lose their momentum as soon as the knockout stages start. Their accuracy completely slipped away, and it's so disappointing that they finished in the exact same place that they were in 4 years ago, which is probably the least enviable position to be in.
Especially given that you say they did better this time than they did last time. Like,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It was like they were pretty much the gold medal favourites after the group stages, and then it was like, oh. Yeah. The semi-final was a bit of a mess, but today was a closer one for the bronze, but it was just unfortunate it didn't go our way.
Is Snoop Dogg to blame?
Well, America didn't win, so maybe. I love that he was there.
Yeah.
Watching the curling.
It's got mass market appeal. This is what broadcasters need to understand. But I was very happy to see Sweden win this final. It was a looking touch and go for them. But I think for one thing, it slightly softens the blow to know that Britain were knocked out by the eventual champions. And also just at this time, I don't really want to see too many US gold medals. And I think we are going to see a lot of them in these Olympics. So I think it's nice to just sort of scale back where we can.
And the siblings. We mentioned siblings a lot on the preview, and then there we go. Siblings gold.
Yeah.
Siblings, and she's got amazing glasses. Her glasses are really cool.
She's an icon. The little hair. And to be fair, she absolutely carried that team.
Yes.
I've got to say.
One thing I really love about the mixed doubles format is that because the woman throws the first and fifth stone in each end, that it does give the women more of the glory, which I think if you compare to the figure skating team event, they always put the men's singles on last. So it sort of becomes, the men get the celebration. They're the ones who are
lauded as having won. Do they not alternate it from Olympics to Olympics then?
I'm not certain, but I seem to, every time I've watched it, I seem to remember it being the men's singles that finished it. I could be corrected on it, but I seem to.
They make a point in the biathlon mixed relays of changing whether it's men, women each time they have the race. So they, like you say, they share out the glory.
Yeah, I could be corrected on that, but I'm pretty sure in Sochi it was the men that did the last one, which would, and because but if it was a perfect rotation, it shouldn't be back to the men yet. But I don't really remember Pyeongchang or.
Well, another good thing about the mixed format of the curling is from what one of the commentators was saying, how the female in it, they can, because obviously they've got a man sweeping, they're not used to having someone sweep as much, so they're able to take more risk with their throws. because they've got. So there was interesting hopes for the women. Like, oh, this is really interesting. Like I can do something a little bit more because I know it's going to be swept a little bit more at the other end. So
that's really interesting. I hadn't thought about that because with the mixed relays, you're combined as a team, but you're not working together at the same time. Which that's really intriguing.
Yes, you noticed in discussions with Jen and Bruce, and then when they had a timeout with their coach, that it seemed to be Jen who was the one looking to go for the most daring shots. And that's quite interesting because in my experience, normally it's when Bruce is playing with the team, he's looking to go for the big, explosive, daring shots. So it's interesting to think that actually, it does change the mentality a fair bit. But moving on, I believe our next event is the figure skating. We've only had one medal so far, which was the team event, which the US won. That was closer than I thought it would be. I thought the USA would pretty much run away with it, but it did come down to the free skate in the men's free skate. Also, Britain didn't come last, which I'm really happy about. We beat Poland.
Our team was carried by one team within the team.
Well, the pairs also didn't come last. They came second from last.
Second to last.
So
wasn't there a team that didn't do the pairs as well? Is that right? I'm making that up.
I think every team's supposed to have a pair, unless there was an injury or something.
I want to say that Korea didn't have a.
Korea went in, I don't think.
Not Korea. Was it Korea? I don't know. Somebody. Yeah, Korea. They didn't have a pair. They didn't have a pair. So we actually did come last of the pairs that competed, but we got 2 points.
Okay, maybe. Either way,
this is like the opposite. This basically is like the opposite of your idea for the combine. It's like if you don't have a team, you don't have to do it. It's fine. You can do bits of it.
So they conceded a point or two there, I guess. But yeah, we came last in everything else.
Yeah.
But our obviously we came third in the rhythm dance.
Yeah, it's just a bit of a shame that in the individual rhythm dance they weren't quite able to emulate that last night.
No, just a point. They were a point down, weren't they? But the 86 that they got in the team competition would have put them in third over this period, wouldn't it? They would be in third now, I think.
I was looking at season's bests scores for them. That the Brits do have a better season's best than the Canadians, but the Italians have a better score than the Brits, and that's very much the three-way battle for bronze. But the other surprise was that actually the French ended up on top there, ahead of the Americans. I thought that most people would think that going into this American pairing would be pretty much unbeatable, and they're not beaten yet, but I don't think they saw themselves being second going into the free skate.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting night tomorrow night to see where those medals go.
And I hope that Chris, you and I will find somewhere to watch it, because we'll have all being well.
We'll be on a plane and then we'll be landing, and then we'll be like, right, let's watch the end of the figure skating.
Yep, so we'll be in Venice tomorrow evening en route to Cortina.
There is a word for two men watching the ice dancing.
Yes,
Valentine's.
I know.
Fellas.
Genuinely, the only reason we're flying out tomorrow night, we were going to fly Thursday, was because the flights were so ridiculous Thursday, Friday, because everyone's going to Venice for Valentine's. It's like, damn it.
Sorry, total side note. I used to live in Venice when I was a student. It is not a romantic city. It is not a place. It is. I mean, it's beautiful and extraordinary and historic, but it is not a place for romance. It stinks mostly as well.
Oh, does it really? I can't wait to find out. Oh, what was another? There was Japan. I was surprised to find out that a lot of places smell like sewage. Wouldn't have thought it. Streets are very clean, but a bit of a whiff.
Smells, yeah, true.
Moving on to the ice hockey. I'm just trying to find ice hockey standings.
Are we not doing freestyle skiing? Is that next?
Oh, sorry. Yep, I've skipped one. Yep, go ahead.
Well, we've just had the slope style for the men and the women in the free ski. Women's, obviously, again, was the first of our three British medal hopes, with Kirsty Muir qualifying in third place. And then, the final, there was always a bronze up for grabs for her. That was it. The gold was always going to be between Gramo and Gu. And I thought Gu was going to get it because this was the one Olympic gold she doesn't have. She got the half pipe and the big air in Beijing. So this was the one she really wanted. And she put down a really good run. But then fair play to Guerrero. She put the second run was incredible, and that was enough to get her in the lead. And then Gu just kind of fell apart for that. She didn't finish either of the next two runs. So that first run was what got her the silver. But then, the battle between Megan Oldham and Kirsty Muir was just like Kirsty was just easing her way into it. Great rail section on the first run, then messed up the jumps, and then second one was more of a safety one just to kind of get one in. It was kind of okay all the way down, and then the last one, not the okay rail section, but it was definitely the jumps which got the score up. So to be 0.41 off a bronze was a bit gutting, but she had the run was there. If she had the rails from run one and the jumps from run two, she easily would have got the bronze. But then Megan Oldham, you can't begrudge her because she had that horrible crash on the second run, which was really serious. You wonder if she'd do a third, and then good job she did, because had she not done the third, she wouldn't have got the bronze. So to pull that run out of the bag for her to get the bronze was really impressive.
Yeah, it's, as you said, it's a real shame that Kirsty couldn't have just stitched her different parts of the run together. As a side note, I'm completely shocked that she's in a relationship with the guy from the first series of The Traitors.
Yes, the BMX guy who's I guess it's extreme sporty world. They all know each other somehow.
Yeah, no, I think it's more personality. Like, they seemed not.
She's very shy and quiet. She's very reserved. She's not your typical kind of like freestyle kind of person. She's very like just chilled and like not into like showing off, and she's very quiet. So yeah, I agree. It is a bit of a strange pairing, but hey ho.
Yeah, I'm not judging, but I saw him in the crowd, like, what's he doing there? And then it got only stranger.
I like how we've reached the absolute sweet spot for you two, which is the Olympics and Traitors.
I know. I've been literally telling everybody at work today. I was like, did you know she's going out with the guy from the Traitors? Like, what? Mind blown. But yeah, anyway, we had the men's slopestyle today. They're just repeating it right now on BBC Two, so no spoilers. No, it was Berk Ruud of Norway, who was kind of the favourite going into it. He's very much the dominant force in the free ski world. He just managed to pip the defending champion Alex Hall from America. He got the silver, and then New Zealand's Luca Harrington, who was definitely fancied for a medal, but he had the first two runs were not great, and then eventually he pulled it out of the bag on the last one. And those three were kind of well clear of everybody else, so they were the three. So I was pleased to see Harrington get that bronze, and good to see Berk Ruud have the gold, because I think was this the one he didn't get in. Yes, he got the big air in Beijing, and then the slopestyle now. So he's done those two.
Cool. And then now I believe it's time for the ice hockey. Why can't I find the standings for this so far?
Let me go on Wikipedia. That'll be
yeah.
The ice hockey finished? Surely not.
No, this is the last event of the whole thing is the men's ice hockey.
It goes on for 3 weeks after the Olympics is finished. It just comes in
along with the curling, which is on all the time. Literally every day.
I feel sorry for the commentators. Like, that's a challenge to be doing.
It's a slog, isn't it?
Like, I struggled to get down from my room to the living room for every curling session, so I can't imagine how they're coping. Here we go. I've got Wikipedia up.
Yeah, I've got the women's is obviously that is on Wikipedia. I've just
it's obviously the women's ice hockey is structured really weirdly in that one group automatically qualify and the other group have to fight, and it's for the remaining places. And I think that's partly a reflection of just like the very lopsided level of development in women's ice hockey. But I'm seeing that the USA are 3 from 3 at the moment. Canada 2 from 2, but I believe they're playing at the moment, or soon to be playing.
Yes, they are playing right now.
Can you see the live score?
Let's get the live results up.
Because this website is not as easy to use as it is on the app.
Yeah, the app's really, the Olympic app, by the way, highly recommend if anybody wants to look at quick results and know what's coming up next. It's probably the best way to do it. But USA are 4-0 up at the moment.
So I think I did say in the preview that I slightly favoured the USA over Canada. Obviously, I mean, they're probably going to play each other in the final.
Yeah, this will be the final.
Yeah, but it'll be nice to see.
Just skip right there. Go straight to the final.
Yeah, I mean, but they'll be pleased to get that confidence boost anyway, assuming that they do see it out for the win. Moving on from ice hockey, because I don't think any of us are that knowledgeable about.
No. Onto something we're more knowledge about, which is the luge.
Luge, which
yes.
Well, the women's today.
Germany? Germany win things?
Germany have been winning things, both the men's singles and the women's singles. I didn't follow the men's too much, but Max Langenhan, I believe that was not too unexpected. I know that Felix Locke messed up in an early one of his runs, and that sort of
he messed up his first
one. Yeah, he was only
his first run really badly. A lot of them were coming out of the chute and just banging there on the right hand, and he did. And the thing with the luge is, if you lose half a second there, it's really hard to get that back even over four runs.
Well, same with the women's. I watched their first runs, and there were so many were hitting that first run off. As soon as we're setting off, they were crashing into.
Yeah, well, with the in the women's, it was the Austrian. I think it was Lisa Schulte who was in. I think she was in second overnight, and she on her third run, she just had a massive hit onto the. It wasn't her. Who was it? Was it Dorothy?
Was it Neil Fravel, the German? She was.
Oh, it was Fravel. It was Fravel.
Track record on the first run, and then second on the second run, then 20th on the third run.
I mean, you can see on her start time there 4 seconds compared to the rest of hers have been under 4 seconds, and she massively hit the wall several times, and that put her out of contention. But with Julia Talbot's win, that's her first Olympic gold medal, but it's now 8 consecutive Olympics that Germany have won the women's luge. Last time a different country won it was in 1994, which was Italy winning it. So no other country has won it in my lifetime. But we did get, I think, a first ever women's luge medal there for Latvia with Alina Bota, and only the USA's second ever luge medal full stop there for Ashley Farquharson.
Yeah, and the other American who was in 12th, Emily Fishnala, is the wife of the Italian Dominic, who got the bronze in the men's.
What I will say about the luge is the men's, particularly watching it, it's one of those ones where it's like, they're big lads. You know, they're obviously very athletics, but it's one of the few sports where you can carry a few extra pounds around the middle, and it doesn't, because
you need the weight almost sometimes to go down a bit quicker.
Yeah, and then they pack them into those lycra suits, and it's all just a bit.
And then sometimes they put a second man on top.
That's the one where I just draw a line. I think that's none of that. It's a Swedish three-way. I think that's where we're going to with that next stuff.
Yeah, well, that starts tomorrow, I think, doesn't it? That is tomorrow. That's tomorrow. Enjoy that tomorrow.
Yeah. And I mean, but also this year, I think, as Kyle mentioned in the preview, we also have a woman on top of a woman for the first time this year. Equality.
There you
go. Short track started today.
It did. It was. I mean, I do love a bit of short track. We only had the one medal decided, which was the mixed team event, which is a great event, actually. I do enjoy the mixed team event because it is like, say it's a relay, and it's just good that it's men and women, and it's not too, there's not too much chaos. There is chaos, obviously, but there's not too much chaos in the changeovers and stuff like that. So, it was interesting because who was it went out in the semis, who was a bit of an upset. I'm just trying to remember. I only watched it not too long ago.
I did watch it. Was it the Koreans?
Someone took out someone. I can't remember.
Syrian, sorry.
Yeah, so the Dutch. Was it the Dutch who took out the Koreans? I can't remember. Something happened.
I think
the
so.
Dutch. I think the Dutch randomly fell down and took out the Koreans with them.
And the Koreans tried protesting.
And the Canadian was very lucky that she just missed the Dutch girl taking her out, and she carried on and then went on to make the final, obviously. And then the final was great, obviously, for the Italian fans because we know they've got a strong women's team with Fontana and Confortola, and then the two guys as well. Siegel, we know, we've mentioned him already in the preview. So that was a very strong Italian team, and they did manage to win. And it was I don't say it was dominant, but they never looked out of doubt of in the semis or the final. With all the chaos going on, they still looked pretty solid, and they got the good changeovers and were able to push the pace on when they needed to. So great gold for Italy, and I think it was Fontana is now one medal away from either tying or breaking Italy's greatest ever Olympic medal haul from any sport, summer or winter.
I think so.
So hopefully by the end of the week, she will be Italy's most decorated Olympian.
And she now has medals from 6 Olympic Games.
That's more
than I've watched, I think.
Yeah, she's a machine. So I love that this is happening for her. So good to see her start with the gold. Canada got the silver, and then I mentioned the Belgians on the preview, the two siblings, the Desmet siblings. They managed to somehow, in all the chaos, managed to get themselves a bronze medal. So well done to Belgium.
Yeah, rare Winter Olympic medal for Belgium. I think they are sort of slowly working their way into the short track and speed skating success, trying to sort of almost through osmosis from the Netherlands.
Well, as we mentioned last time, Desmet individually has one, and Bart Swings we mentioned on the long track. So
I'm glad to see that heat. Hazel loves his name as well.
Yes, a lot of people were talking about him. But yeah, we had the heats of the women's 500. I don't think there were too many upsets apart from Corinne Stoddard, the American. I don't actually see it, but I see she's had a very slow time, so I assume she fell over or was taken out. But that was fine. Pretty much all the big names were through to that. And the men's 1,000, I mentioned Desmet. He actually went out in the heats of the 1,000, so it's a good job that he then got a medal in the relay. And then I think the only other controversy was just the British guy falling over with the Canadian guy.
Yeah, they got the sort of shared responsibility. I was watching that very annoyed with the Canadian guy because I was like, he started it, but then I think
he did start it.
The Brit, Niall Tracy
got involved.
Sort of responded. He shouldn't have sort of swept into the inside as he did there.
So yeah, them and the American Brandon Kim were also out in that. Yeah, so I'm sure there'll be more chaos on that track soon.
Okay, and then where are we next? Alphabetically.
Ski jumping.
Dan, this is what we've assigned to you.
Yes. Well, I mean, the one thing that the lunatic Norwegian biathlete confessing his extramarital affairs has done is push crotchgate off the front pages on people who don't know anything about sports. So, yeah. We've had 3 events now. So we had the mixed team today. The men's small hill was fascinating. So they don't often do the small hill in the ski jumping on the World Cup. And the commentators were saying just before it started, you may see some slight upsets here because it's not the usual thing. And it was a completely bizarre podium. The 2 guys, Philip Raymond and Kasper Tomasiak, Germany and Poland, who finished first and second, have never been on the podium in a World Cup before in their entire careers, and now first and second at the Olympics, which is kind of amazing. And my absolutely nailed-on recommendation for a medal, which was Dylan Preetz, did not get me. He finished 6th or 7th or something like that. And then talking about siblings again, I'd absolutely insisted that Nika Preetz's sister would win the women's. Did she? Did she, buggery? No, she was second. To Anna Stone of Norway. However, the Preetzes have finally come good today in the mixed with Anzi Lanashek and I forget who the other
Nika Voda, apparently.
That's the one. Thank you. They've won and reasonably handily as well. They've won the mixed event. So there will be things will be less awkward over the Christmas dinner table at the Preetzes next time around. I was quite actually. I mean, I know I was slightly saying it's not been all that entertaining, but the small hill with those 2 winning, everyone just looked like no one quite knew what to do about it. It was great. It's perfect Olympic moments. And Philip Raymond will struggle to get into the German team for he would have struggled to get into the German team for the World Cup and things like that. So yeah, it's brilliant to see them.
So if it's not normally on the World Cup, do you have any idea why it is still in the Olympics?
History, tradition, Nordic combined. I think I have no idea which of those it is, but I wouldn't be at all surprised if it is actually something to do with the Nordic combined, because I mean they do it on the circuit, but not nearly as often. It's just much less spectacular. I mean, it was almost a distance of like 95 meters, which is sort of neither here nor there in terms of what it would usually be. But it is they do use the small hill for the Nordic combine. So I think there'll be something. I think it's also just about having another event. So it's not just the one ski jumping, right?
Yeah, fair enough. I suppose it was one of the original Winter Olympic sports.
Yes.
Which alpine skiing wasn't, which is sort of funny when I think for a lot of people they would agree with Chris that it's one of the main sports, but it wasn't there in 24.
Mm-hmm. But speaking of original sports, the original snowboarding event is what we're going to move on to next. the parallel slalom, because I didn't realize that this is the last time it's going to be held, isn't it? They were saying.
Yes, I can't
commentary.
remember.
They were very, very concerned that it might be on the. It's definitely on the bubble. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if it is going to come back or not, but it ended up being really quite interesting this time. I was watching a lot of it. I didn't because I mentioned on the preview like the big names and the seeds who were expecting, especially on the men's side, we're expecting the old Italian guy Fishnala, who's been around forever. He's 45, and he was the favourite.
Don't say 45 like he's dead.
Oh, but he won the world title last year and has never won an Olympic medal, and he still hasn't won an Olympic medal because he was beaten by the Korean guy. Well, he didn't finish in the quarterfinals. That was the first like big upset, and then was it the second seed, the Italian? He went out early on as well. So the Italians were like, out before the semi-finals, and then this Slovenian guy who had a great run beating the other Italian, the third Italian, to make the semis. He ended up finishing fourth in that not controversial photo finish, but given both the bronze medal, because I looked at the photo and I was like, I think it's a shared bronze between him and the Bulgarian.
The bronze medals only cost a couple quid to make anyway. So.
Exactly, they all fall apart anyway. So I think I wanted to see. He was one of the people who you follow the stories of the day, and he was the one who was not expected to go anywhere, and he ended up being literally this close to a medal. But then it did end up going to Benjamin Karl of Austria, who was the second favourite basically, defended his title, and then I don't know if you saw him do his. I think it was an homage to Hermann Maier, the skier. He just took off all of his clothes and went, did the Hermanator. So I think everyone enjoyed that because he's no spring chicken at the age of 40. So it was literally like the old man's game. This one, it was like which 40-year-old is going to win this one?
Yeah, 40 is really old, isn't it, Chris?
Yes, it really is. I mean, literally, because obviously even the guy who got the silver, the Korean guy, is 37, so not exactly youngsters. But I think the bronze medalist, the Bulgarian, only 20. So he's like, literally, they could be his parents.
Yeah. Well, no, they couldn't, because that's not how parenting works.
Yes. Well, it was a fun day, but we ended up with the winner we kind of expected. But whereas in the women's, it stayed in Czechia, but it did not go to the red hot favourite, Esther. No, and I forgot in my preview, I didn't realise that it was going on the same time as the women's downhill, because I was like, she could be a medal hope in the downhill. Maybe she wishes she was, because, it was just a scruffy run. I don't know if it's because she's straddling both the events and she's, maybe not been doing as much snowboarding lately as possible, but it was one of those things where she made the mistake and tried to come back, and it was looking close, and then she kind of made another mistake, and it was narrow. She only lost by 600ths in the quarterfinals. And then I kind of wanted the Austrian Paya to go all the way to the gold, but she made the final, and then ended up losing to Madarova, the second seed, who, again, good for Czechia that they still got the gold medal, but Ledecky, you can see she was a bit pissed off. She was a bit like, well, I missed the downhill for this, and I didn't win this like I should have done. So the Super G's on Thursday in the skiing, and I still think she's got a shot in that, so we'll watch that one. But it was her compatriot that got the gold, and it was the Italians battling it out for the bronze.
Do you think she would have been happier to see her compatriot get the gold, or more annoyed?
I don't know. I guess I don't know what if they're friends or not. They might hate each other. Who knows? But I imagine you kind of, it's like, it's to use like a Formula One analogy. When your teammate beats you, you're like, well, we've got the same car, and I should beat you. But I think when she's the favourite, she's just disappointed in herself for not actually winning the gold that she's won the last two Olympics.
I mean, I'd rather be beaten by someone I don't know than by
some random.
Like
some random who came out of nowhere.
And
like she did, like she did in the Super G. Years ago.
It also did result in one of my favourite bits of commentary. The guy who's doing the TNT commentary, he's very good on, his name escapes me, on the parallel snowboard. He was talking about the fact that it may not be at the next Olympics, and he said, it's a great sport, it's really exciting, and all we need is a hill. And I was like, well, that's true of all the skiing. I don't think that's really a plus for you.
Some snow helps as well, to be fair.
Yes.
I can't just do it in some random slope on a car park.
No, that's what we're used to in the UK. Onto the big air. The men's big air was one of the first gold medal to be decided. Because the qualification was on before the opening ceremony, which I always hate that, because I don't know if I assume that everyone who's doing it is also doing the slopestyle, because that's usually what happens.
I think they have to, don't they?
I think so, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, which is good, because they don't want anyone to go out before the opening ceremony. The flames lit, and thank you very much. Your Olympics is over. But yeah, we obviously had 30 in the qualifying, down to 12 for the final. Our British friend didn't make it, but it's interesting. Mark McMorris, who I mentioned in the preview, then he had, as we were recording the preview, he fell in training and had concussion and couldn't compete in the big air, but he is going to be in the slopestyle. But his withdrawal meant that the Australian guy, Valentino Gazzelli, was then in the main draw, and then he ended up making the final, ended up finishing down in 10th. So given he wasn't going to be there, that was pretty good. But it ended up being Kira Kimura of Japan, who won quite convincingly from his teammate Ryoma Kamata, and then we had Su Yiming of China in the bronze, and Oliver Martin, the American, was in fourth. It was all right. It was a fun final, but I don't think there was that much kind of peril or drama to it. Whereas the women's was one of the highest quality big air finals I think I've ever seen. It was a stacked final anyway. Two-time defending champion Anna Gasser, I was hoping would do it again, because she's amazing, but I don't know if she's just, I'm not saying she's too old, but she might be too old because she's been there a while. And she ended up finishing in 8th, gave it a good shot. It was such a high quality final, and we obviously wanted Mia Brooks to get a medal, and this was the second of our kind of medal hopes that ended up coming fourth. You look at the scores, and it's she was fourth by quite a way, but that doesn't tell the whole story. When last jump was absolutely incredible, and she was so close to landing it perfectly, and had she done that, it might not have
a world first if she'd landed
exactly
it.
And it might not have been a bronze, it might have been the gold. So I love the fact that she didn't just play it safe and go for a bronze that she could have done. She went for the gold. So yeah, it was such a high quality competition, with Murasi of Japan kind of dominating it from the beginning. It was the opposite to the slopestyle ski, where it was like people were nervous and falling off. This was like get go. Everyone was churning out these big jumps in that first round. Second round was a little bit trickier, but then the last one, a few of them up their game as well. And obviously Zoe Sadowski-Synnott, I mentioned her. She's she got the silver. I was kind of hoping she'd win, and then the Korean got the bronze. And yeah, it was a fun competition. I enjoyed it all around. It was a real great one last night.
Yeah, it's just a bit, obviously it's frustrating from a British perspective that it was fourth place. This was number 2 in the trilogy of the last few days. But it's a bit frustrating that this is kind of her better event. She does still have the slopestyle to come, and I think the same applies for Kirsty, that she's normally better at the slopestyle than the big air. So
but
we can still hope.
But I think I thought this was more of a positive for us, because she went for it, and she wasn't too disappointed, because she was like an all or nothing kind of thing, and she was close. But
also that's the advantage of actually having landed decent jumps in both the first and second round, that you can just sort of put everything you can onto the final jump.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, she's already in fourth, so it was like, may as well go for it.
Yeah. Well, I believe that's everything covered for now.
Well, we've got long track speed skating to do.
Long track, of course. One more event.
How dare you? To be fair, we've only had three medal events in this one, haven't we? Started off with the women's 3000, which the Italian won, Lola Brigida.
Lola Brigida. That was that was really cool to watch. And then the whole thing with the baby and everything, it was all very emotional.
And she's only Italy's, third gold medalist in speed skating since 2006. Enrico Fabri's, when he won 2, one as part of the team pursuit and one individually. So it is a big deal, and they seem to be good at peaking for home Olympics.
I mean, as well alongside that, and other than I think today, the big story in the speed skating is the sort of generalized crapness of the Dutch team, or the relative historical crapness of the Dutch team. He said then, having just won a gold medal, I think today or yesterday, but the depth doesn't seem to be there in terms of, for them to be shut out of 2 or 3 events already in terms of the medals is really, really startling.
Yeah, we kind of mentioned that the 2 Irenes of the last few years have kind of gone and they've retired, and there was a few, especially it's weird because they've got so much choice There's no one person like kind of dominating that. They're picking and choosing their teams. I heard that they literally they've put all the data into like a computer and the algorithms worked out who should be best in which event. So they've not got one or two people doing everything. It's like, well, you're doing this event, and you're doing this event, and I don't know if it's working, but they did, as you mentioned, the women's 1000. They did win that quite comfortably. It was Leerdam, who I forgot to mention on the preview, is the fiance of Jake Paul, everyone's favorite YouTuber / boxer.
Yeah, I wasn't pleased to see him in the crowd at the speed skating, especially after it was just a few hours after he'd tweeted something stupid.
Yeah, it's amazing how he is not. How JD Vance is not actually the worst American to have attended the Olympics this time around because of Jake Paul.
She won the gold from Femke Kok, who I mentioned, and then Takagi, who's one of Japan. I think she's Japan's most decorated Winter Olympian. She got the bronze. Yeah. And then for a decent performance from Britain's entrant Elias Smenning in 11th. I thought that was a good.
Yeah,
good turnout.
I thought she had a very good race.
And then the men's, which I did, the 5,000 was won by Sander Etrheim of Norway with an Olympic record. And I mentioned the young Czech guy, the teenager. He got the silver. He had a good race, so keep an eye on him for the longer distances. And then the Italian Lorello got the bronze ahead of the kind of more fancied Giotto of the two. So that's the speed skating.
I didn't watch either of the 5 or the 3. I watched the end of the 3, but what I did love about the 1,000 is how it's one of those events where you just have to go out and go hard and then just hold on in the final few hundred meters, and it's just a battle against lactic acid. And something about those events, I find them really quite fun to watch. Maybe it's a bit sadistic, but
yeah, I think that's where the Dutch success will be now. Will be in the shorter ones because of their like kind of transition into short track. Like it was Suzanne Schulting, who was the short track star, was in the 1,000. Mm-hmm. She didn't get a medal, but she was like, that's what she stepped up to. So that's it's interesting to see where by the end of this how many medals the Dutch are going to have in that sport.
Yeah. The three was great to watch, but I realized with the 3,000 that I'm just about on my limit of how much speed skating you can watch, where it's just people with the 1,000 is great because you get a sense of the speed and the drama and the everything, but the men's 5,000 is not a gripping watch. Especially the first couple of pairs.
That's why I just wait to see the results come in for the longer events. But I think now we actually have gone through all the events so far, and in a lot quicker time than we did the other night.
Exactly, under an hour.
Yeah. So well done. So thank you both for joining me this Tuesday evening. And
enjoy your romantic week away, you two.
We will do.
No, it's gonna be fun. Cortina looks amazing. Whenever I see it on the TV, I'm like, I'm pleased we're going to Cortina because it looks amazing.
And and thank you for anyone watching or listening. And we hope to see you soon. Bye.
Bye.